welcome to video number 5 in the Miniature Heroes rambling series of bits and pieces. I hope you're enjoying them so far. We're up to, I've got the camera very close to this actually, sorry about touching that. We're up to 50 subscribers. Thank you all to who have subscribed, and if you could do a few shares and, you know, show this to other people that would like to subscribe, that'd be very nice as well. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying these actually. I think they're going quite well. People seem to be completely mystified by most of it, but there we go. That's what you get for making it up as you go along. Anyway, the point of today's video is another topic supplied by the wonderful and indeed effervescent Dave C. over on the MH forum on that Facebook thingy. And he said, what's the difference between Darksword and Reaper? And he said, all right, you know, why is there a price difference? Well, I will try and answer that as best as what I can. I don't know what Jim Ludwig's ideas of pricing are. I assume that he is pitching his miniatures much the same as Mercedes pitched their cars against, shall we say, Ford. Both are very good cars. Both will get you from where you need to go, from A to B. But one is considered a more luxury brand than the other, and therefore is priced accordingly. Mercedes don't want every Tom, Dick and Harry driving their cars. They want the well-heeled, the more wealthy, as they see it. That's their class. Ford, on the other hand, want to cater for everyone, and they're a big volume seller. And that is really the analogy that you get with Reaper and Darksword. Both very good at what they do, but both aiming at slightly different markets. That is the main reason for the price discrepancy. There's not a great deal of difference. The other thing with Darksword is that they are a, dare I say it, a finer sculpt of miniature. And this comes down to the fact that Jim Ludwig got in touch with Tom Mear, who is a sculpting god as far as many of us are concerned. He was the principal sculptor at Railpatha when they started. In fact, it was his skills that I think started Railpatha. And he has been sculpting miniatures on and off ever since. He started brilliant and he's only got better. He's a lovely guy, but he's, you know, his skill level is off the scale. He would probably do more miniatures if they paid better. His skills are in demand in many other fields. But he does sculpt in a manner that is extremely precise, and his attention to detail with proportion is really what sets Darksword apart from all other manufacturers, really. That's not to say that they're off on proportion, but Tom is fanatical about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at two miniatures sculpted by American sculptors. Now this one is the Darksword Male Ranger with Longbow by Tom Mear himself. Let's get that into shot. There we go. And so you can see what's in there. This one is Mason Thornwarden Ranger by Reaper Miniatures, code 3500. It's by Bobby Jackson, who is no slouch with sculpting, and indeed he's moved into digital sculpting now. He's a great exponent of ZBrush. He also has sculpted for Darksword, so he amends his style to do more things like this. And hopefully by the end of this video you'll have a bit more understanding of what one is against the other. There's not a huge difference, but there are subtle differences. So okay, let's go in. Let's delve into these and see what we can do. So we'll open up Mason here. Now Mason is a dynamically posed ranger with bow as a separate casting, cast on his base. Now I shall not take that off today because I want to do a bit of a separate video on that. I get a lot of things from people saying, my miniature's broke. Mr. Fitch, you've sent me a rotten miniature. Well, I haven't. I haven't sent you a rotten miniature at all. This is the way it's cast. Let's get rid of all that. This is the way it's cast. Now his arm, as you can see here, is cast onto the base. It's all part of the casting process. What you have to do is snip this off and detach it and attach it there. But anyway, there's Mason, and it's a bloody good ranger. It really is. It's nice. He's got his bow, his thing. He's in a crouching position. You can see the face there, hopefully. And yeah, I mean, that is really nice. That is £6.47 currently in the Miniature Hero shop. And that's what you get. Requires a little bit of assembly. This one is by Tom Mear. It might be roughly about the same sort of time that it was sculpted. I don't know quite the time frame with these, but this is £11.99 in the shop. And you're going to see, all right, what the difference is if we break in. Come here. That's the thing with blisters, they never open nicely. It's like an egg. It's wonderful packaging until you try and get into it. Why has nobody ever invented a ring pull egg? There we go. Get rid of that. This is the protective foam, and that's the miniature. Now, for people that buy Darksword, it's something I also get sometimes. Why isn't it painted? And why is it not assembled and all this, that and the other? Well, you've got to do this yourself. There is a bit of a code number there. I can't see what that is, but anyway. You've got to do this yourself. That's the sort of thing you do. The trouble with Darksword is that they do these wonderful pictures painted by some of the very best American artists that are out there, and it gives a bit of a false illusion as to what you're getting in the packet. However, you do have everything here to make something like that if you're a half-tidy painter. So let's compare first of all. The details here are very sharp, they're very crisp, but they're also extremely fine. Now, I really don't know if it's showing up very well on camera, but it is nigh on the nearest thing you will get to a statue. If you scaled this up from, well, it's not quite 25mm. This is going to be, what is he overall? Well, they are. He's coming up 37mm. If you scaled that up to real life, that would be the nearest thing you could get to a statue in miniature. The proportions are that good. The hand to head size is always a telltale, and that is very good. If you look at your own hand, here's one now, there's another bit of it, and hold it against your head, you can see that there is a proportional ratio to it. A lot of miniatures, especially some of the early Citadel ones, were very well known for large hands, large heads. The hands could sometimes be the same size as a head. It worked. I'm not saying it's wrong. It worked on the miniature because you're working on something that's so tiny. But in real life, if you scaled it up, it would look ridiculous. And that's the one thing that Tom Mear has never done. He's never made a miniature that wouldn't scale up to look like a proper statue. Now, there he is. He's got his quiver at the back, cloak, everything there. But the folds are very fine. The details, there is a lot going on, but it's very subtle. It's very nuanced. It's all there. I mean, there is stitching on some of these sleeves. He's got a leather cuff there, which of course archers have for when the arrow goes past. It's just very neatly done. Very neat. Now, Mason here is a good miniature as well. His hand's a bit bigger, the arms are a bit thicker, as you can see. We'll do a little bit of a comparison there. The bow is certainly chunkier. There is the Darksword longbow as opposed to the Reaper one. And yeah, I mean, that doesn't look wrong, but if you scaled that up to the right size, that would probably be like holding a 4x2, whereas that would probably scale to about right. And that mainly is the real difference between these two things. You've got, alright, a perfectly good miniature here. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But it is of a different proportional scale to this one. I mean, we can do, alright, leg thickness. Leg thickness at calf here is 4mm. Leg thickness at calf there is 2mm. Now, on this scale, I mean, it doesn't really make a great deal of difference. But a millimetre to a sculptor can be 6-7 inches worth on the real scale. And that is where Darksword really scored. Now, Darksword have got Tom Mear and Jeff Grace, who has also done the work for Reaper, as principal sculptors. And I think Julie Guthrie's done some, I say Bobby Jackson's done some, Patrick Keith has done some work for them, and Patrick Keith, I think, is the nearest sculptor to Tom Mear's talent. He's very good and makes some really, really nice stuff over at Bombshell. Bobby Jackson changes his style. This is Reaper style for Bobby Jackson. But when he works for Darksword, it's more like this. So, you know, there is obviously definitely a style ethos with Darksword, that it's got to be the right proportion, the right height, everything's got to be. And with Reaper, you can be a little bit more broader strokes. That really is about the main difference I can say. There's not a lot else to say about them, figure-wise, weight-wise, the miniature amount of metal they take up. It's all pretty much the same, but these are pitched more as a high-end collector's, gamers, painter's miniature, and these are more of, alright, more of a general gamer's miniature. They'll paint up very well if you do them, but it's the markets they're aimed for. So, there we go. That's the difference between Darksword and Reaper. I hope you found this interesting. And I haven't waffled on far too much, but I hope it is interesting for you. A few other things that I will just say while we're here. I have got some more bits and pieces of kit in. Green Stuff World putty. This stuff is going out the shop like hotcakes at the moment. It really is shifting. It seems to be very popular. The first 3 I had in disappeared very quickly, and I've had 20 in, and I've sold quite a few of those so far as well. So if you do want some, do get in quick, because it's going very quickly. I've also had a restock of the etched brass that you might have seen in a previous video. They're all in. Fortunately, I couldn't get any more of the orc runes and symbols because, well, Green Stuff have run out. It's that popular. But I have got the Dwarven, Elven and Chaos, and I've got 20 of each, so they're all in stock as well. So that's about that. Shane and I are bouncing around ideas about what he might do as a master series of showing you how to paint and prepare a miniature the way... I hate to use the word professional, because that just means somebody that does something for money, but how an expert painter would do things. So not my daubings and bodgings and carryings on, but how Shane would go about preparing and painting a miniature for a competition with the intent to win it. And he does that quite often. So that's something that's hopefully going to come in the future. Apart from that, no, I think that's about it. If you've got any questions, please leave them down below, or email me, or you can contact me at the Miniature Heroes Facebook page. If you have any ideas for future videos, you can do the same. I'm always open to views. As I say, Dave C has come up with this one, and I think it's rather nice. I think it's it's a good comparison. Reaper and Darksword are on very good terms with one another. It has to be said. They do get on very well, because, as I say, they share an awful lot of sculptors. Yeah, Jim Ludwig and Ed Pugh know each other, I think, socially, so they do get on quite well. If you would like to share this video with friends, family, even the dog, I don't mind, as long as he gives us a like. That's always nice and good. If you have people that you think would be happy to subscribe to this, please let them do. And well, I shall mosey off now and edit this and see if I can make it look a bit better than it probably is, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.